To have a second language is to have a second soul. Lera Boroditsky, University of California, San Diego. Hello everyone and welcome to my first podcast. I am Lily and I hope that you can enjoy to hear this topic and tips. This afternoon, I want to introduce a guest for this interview about the importance of learning a new language. My brother Jonathan is 23 years old and is currently studying at BYU, Idaho. He served a full-time mission as a missionary for 2 years in Peru, Trujillo, at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He is my guest on this podcast for a specific reason, to share his experience and the importance of learning a new language, in this case English, because our native language is Spanish. Okay, welcome Jonathan, and first, I want to ask you how you feel tonight.
First of all, thanks for your invitation. Tonight, I feel very excited to be able to spend quality time and have a pleasant conversation.
Thank you so much, Jonathan, for your answer. So, let's start with the first question of tonight's topic. Why did you choose to learn this language? In this case, English.
Since my youth, I have always found a new way of communicating in English and understanding the meaning of movies, books, and music. It has been a way of disconnecting from my world and entering a totally different one that was unknown for me. Over time, it became a necessity, a tool that will help me broaden my horizons, meet new people, learn about their culture, and learn a new language. That's how when I became a missionary for a period of 2 years, all my companions were Americans. And the need grew because I had to communicate with them, understand what they said, and thus have more unity when teaching. You know what I mean. In a few words, I choose to study and learn English, and I continue to do so to learn beyond what is presented to me, establish relationships with other cultures, and be a help to those who do not speak it. At first, it was difficult, and still in sometimes, but if you like, you look for those ways to learn.
It's true, Jonathan. So, we know that learning a new language is very difficult, but when we listen to advice from other people, it becomes more accessible, right? So, what would you like to have known when you started learning English?
I would have liked to know that it would not be as easy as I thought. Learning a new language is complicated and it is challenging. There are many times you do not know how they work, and when you think you start to understand a totally different rule arrives that makes you doubt if you know or even if you are progressing in the language. I would have liked it to know what it would be fun to learn from mistakes, to laugh at bad pronunciation or bad writing. I would have liked it to know that it's exciting to discover meanings that there are not in my language and understand the scriptures in a new way. In conclusion, I would have liked to know that it's a journey of never stopping learning.
Yes, I like your words. So, and also in many times feelings of fear appear when learning something new, right? Can you tell us the biggest mistake you made learning this language and what you learned from it?
I would have liked to know that it would not be as easy as I thought. Learning a new language is complicated and it is challenging. There are many times you do not know how they work, and when you think you start to understand a totally different rule arrives that makes you doubt if you know or even if you are progressing in the language. I would have liked it to know what it would be fun to learn from mistakes, to laugh at bad pronunciation or bad writing. I would have liked it to know that it's exciting to discover meanings that there are not in my language and understand the scriptures in a new way. In conclusion, I would have liked to know that is a journey of never stopping learning.
Yeah, I agree with you when you say that if we can have two second language and learn more, it's never stop to learning. So making those mistakes make us lose the fear and learn much more than when we are not one. Jonathan, what advice would you give to someone starting to learn English?
What would you advise you to do? That is a very, very good question. Please give me a minute to think something about it. I got it. I will tell you, not be afraid of making mistakes in speaking or writing. That is normal in the process of learning a new language. Remember that you already went through that process when learning your native language. Many years until you have the knowledge you now have. And for sure you will never stop learning even their native language. Now, imagine a new language. We will make mistakes for many years until we achieve the fluency that we so long for. But if we have a good attitude and an unwavering character, believe me, you will achieve it.
Until now, I'm afraid to speak English because I feel incapable. But as you say, having a good attitude has helped me in this learning process.
Another piece of advice that I would give you is to look for someone to learn on this process. Although it is true that you can achieve it by yourself, but it's better and faster if you have someone who knows the knowledge and dominate it. And that will help you to be better in this process. Learning a new language is more than necessary to have someone to help you, and without my friends and teacher, I would not know the English that I know. I'm so grateful for them.
Thank you so much for your answer. I really love your words. So let's continue with the other questions, okay? We know that there are many ways to learn English. What sources have helped you the most on the path of learning this language? Like books, YouTube videos, or people that help you to learn English?
As I said in the previous question, the first thing is to find someone to learn on. Someone who knows that language perfectly. Today we can have real-time conversations with friends or teachers or someone else that will help you more than anything else. Second, listen to music, watch movies in English. I know it's complicated by accents and other things, but listening actively will help our ears become more familiar with pronunciations. It is the best way to learn if we don't have someone to learn on. Once that the language is familiar, it is the moment to start writing everything we can. So we will coordinate our hearing with our writing ability.
It's true your words. Thank you for sharing with us. If we need to improve our language, it's very important to do these things, okay? One question I want to ask you is, what myth about learning English would you like to debunk? Because we have here many myths, so it will be very useful to hear you say which one is not true.
In my opinion, the biggest myth of learning English is that it is necessary to master the grammar of the language before speaking it. That is totally a lie. Remember how a child learns to speak his native language. He makes mistakes a million times. A child does not know anything about grammatical rules when he says his first word. It's more, a child does not have knowledge of this if not until he is in school, which is long after the child already spoke his native language. Therefore, they should not be afraid of talking about making a mistake, mispronouncing. it's completely normal. Later, they will understand the rules with all clarity, but that should not prevent them from speaking this new language with courage and courage.
Okay, sometimes we think that learning a new language is too late or too soon, right? So, Jonathan, the question is, from what age did your desire to learn English start, and what would you say to your past self at that time?
My desire to learn English began in my youth at 15 or 16 years old. What I will tell you, my past self, is to learn as a child. The best stage to learn a language is when you're a child. Children do not have the fear that we are not afraid of being embarrassed if you say a word wrong or don't know what's next in the sentence. They just do it. So, it would tell my past self that it took me a long time to have the desire to learn, that I should have started long before, and now it would be easier and more natural too.
Thanks, Jonathan, for sharing with us these beautiful words. And unfortunately, this is our last question. After everything you have told us and the advice you have given us, we now want to know why you think it's important to learn another language now, or is not necessary. What do you think about that?
Today, more than ever, it is important to learn a new language, especially English. Every time we see that the borders are less visible, it is easier to contact English speaking jobs than before, and that is a great opportunity to progress for us.
Thank you very much, Jonathan, for your experience and advice to learn this language. We hope it has served you guys and that you may have the desire to learn this language. Thank you guys for here this night and see you soon in the next podcast. Bye bye.